Good day and welcome to the Sport Rep Show. This is Jesse Jackson Karaitha, your host again. And now for your latest on the hit list. Despite a gallant performance, the Debmarine Namibia Desert Jewels of Namibia lost 52-42 to Zambia in their second match at the 2023 Africa Netball Championships played at the Botswana Indoor Complex in Gaborone. In the first quarter, Zambia led 13-10. In the second quarter, the Jewels tried to catch up, but the quarter ended 26-21 in the Zambians' favor. The third quarter saw the Zambians extended their lead with 10 points. That was 38-28. The fourth quarter was better for Namibia. However, Zambia sealed the deal, winning the match by 10 points, 52-42. Namibia's Richelo Eagles were crowned T20 Africa Cricket Champions yesterday afternoon after concluding their 2024 T20 World Cup qualification campaign with 6 wins from 6 matches. Uganda also qualified for the first time. They won 5 of their 6 matches, only losing to Namibia, but beating Zimbabwe in a historic clash at United. Although Zimbabwe failed to qualify, they scooped all available individual accolades. Captain Singanda Raza was crowned the best batter and best player of the T20 final, while that was the best bowler award went to another Zimbabwean as well. Great Gymnastics and Tumep Gymnastics Club have joined forces to take on the 14th Memorial Lazar Kristic and Marisa Nedlaufovic, scheduled from 8 to 10 December in Serbia. The international gymnastics competition will see 6 Namibian gymnasts go up against competitors from 14 countries in the junior and senior International Gymnastic Federation categories. They are Emmanuel Cooper, Annaline, that is Thornborn, Arno Brink, and as well as Andrew Joni and Zenodine Mezain. A bigger group this year of the group will be accompanied by a team that will also help Namibia go through in this one. Let's first go back to the cricket story because we do have a video for you that will take place.
Here right now with the one and only Craig Williams. How are you doing today?
Nina, I'm good, thanks.
How do you find Namibia? Is it like your best country you've been to?
Well, look, I actually live in Namibia.
You live here?
Yeah, so I'm a
Amazing.
Namibian. I played for Namibia for 14 years.
Amazing.
And yeah, I'm super proud and privileged to have been asked by the Uganda national team to help them out for
Yeah,
the next
you
2
look
weeks.
amazing in our
Like it.
kit. The color it suits you amazingly.
Thanks,
So
Nina.
what do you think about our boys and what do you think they're going to do differently this time?
Are you talking about the Namibian boys or our boys, the Ugandans?
Our boys, Ugandan boys.
No, great. Look,
obviously.
the Ugandan team I've just been with now, they're like super strong. I was impressed when I saw the guys. I played against them so many years, and now now I'm joining them in battle. But I've got, extremely high expectations for this team. I just watched a couple of guys now in the nets. They super fit, super strong. And I tell you what, this Ugandan team has got a chance. World Cup next year. Let's go.
Okay, amazing. I'm happy to hear that actually. Moving on to you and this new position that you got. Mahlani was such an inspiration to so many people. I wonder how you feel to be in this position. How does that feel for you?
Yeah, look, like I said, I'm super privileged. I'm really proud to be asked by the Uganda national team, to assist them on this tournament. It's a new role that I've started doing over the last years is to consult and to help teams. I've got a cricket academy with 100 kids, so I'm used to coaching the kids and stuff. So this is just great for me to get back into a competitive change room, and try help the team qualify for the World Cup.
Wow, thank you so much for having this time with me, and I hope it be a success in this
Yes,
tournament.
great, thanks,
Thank
Nina.
you. Thank you.
the hit list continue, taking on the Munga, riding a mountain bike from Bloemfontein to Wellington in the Western Cape during the summer is just a crazy idea. It is considered the ultimate endurance riding, as a distance of 1,100 kilometers is equivalent to 3 solo Nedbank Desert Dash in a row. Last year's race was won by Namibia's Martin Freyer, while Driekus Coetzee finished the 2023 race in a record time of under 48 hours. Let's have a look at a video now.
Where is the guy now? Yes.
You did it in 48 hours. Fantastic champion. Baie geluk, jy lyk baie moe.
Now that is the Desert Dash champion. We hope that there will be competition to defend his title this year. Let us take a short break and go into the pipeline.
We've always had the bravery to stand up for what is Namibian, from protecting our homes to fighting injustices. We still celebrate what it means to us and raise a glass to those who show their bravery. No matter how they take on the world, with all this potential in the land of the brave, what will you do to make this Namibia your Namibia?
Sport Rep had a chat with Mabos Fries today to speak about the league proceedings and how he felt about this year. Enjoy that interview. The Fries, it has been a good season, I see, in every aspect, but I want to hear from you, how have you thought of everything so far?
Yeah, good afternoon, Jess. There have been a lot of activities on different fronts this season. We have started off with the Namibia Premier League, then we have started to kick off our Southern League First Division. This coming weekend, the Northwest First Division will also commence, and then it will be followed by the Northeast First Division, and then the Second Division will then follow thereafter. The Women's Super League also, partly they have also started. We couldn't start full-fledged because the international commitments of the Brave Gladiators have disrupted our program, but we will take care of it as it goes along. Yes. Okay. The other thing also that's outstanding, we have now a new executive council, which is now the new leadership that have been elected on the 17th of November. So far so good.
So far so good. I think last season was a bit patchy in terms of league directing and taking the Premier League to the level where it wants to be. And this season, how is you assess it?
Yeah, one of the things is that the commitment from the clubs, I have to applaud the clubs for that. They are really go out of the way to honor the league features. It comes with a price. Everybody knows there's expectation from the players themselves. The biggest challenge that we have been facing in Windhoek and currently still facing is the availability of stadiums. As you are aware that we have 7 clubs in Windhoek, which means we have a lot of matches that we need to play and we have limited facilities. Even now we are struggling. It's only luckily enough the Independent Stadium is available, so we're making use of the Independent Stadium. UNAM have been closed for rehabilitation, as well as SKW also closed. The Hage King Stadium, we are in negotiations to use it also in the future, so they can have enough stadiums in Windhoek.
Yeah, speaking of stadiums, I think one of the things like what you said is mentioning the first division teams in order to start. How a struggle was that?
No, actually, everything goes along with finances, and the NFA is funding the leagues from their own pockets, from the resources we receive from FIFA. Money that is meant to also be used for other activities like development, but the NFA came on board as usual, as they've been doing in the past also, to fund the first division as well as the second division. The Women's Super League and the Namibia Premier Football League are sponsored by private sponsors. So sometimes it became a challenge because it affects also your cash flow.
Mm-hmm. Going forward, we're going into 2024 from here. What would you want to achieve as a league director?
The focus point, as we are playing football on the pitch, our biggest challenge is the image of our football. I think we need to work a bit harder on our image of the football, how we portray ourselves. Sometimes we think that we are saying that we are developing football, we are for football, but the actions thereof doesn't speak to our vision, our mission at the end of the day. And I think we need to call everybody to the table and say that, colleagues, whatever your pain can rescue football. But if you are taking only care of the pain that you are going through, and forget about the bigger picture that brought us together, which is football, then you will fail in the process. Because nowadays everybody is about himself, but we are not collectively together. It's more emotions, associations that are taking place. And I think we need to mature and say that, let me rather carry the pain as an individual, but through that, let me ensure that football will be a winner, and that football, through my pain, football will go to the next level.
Definitely. And look, I think we have spoken about how far or how hard it was to run football this season. We're still in the season, but there's still next year. We are finishing on the 16th, and then from there, what would you want to achieve?
You see, currently you can see on the pitch is competitiveness. On top and at the bottom, and even in the middle as well. People are fighting for points. This week, one is in the leading position. Next time you see, after 2 weeks, another team is in the leading position. So competitiveness are on the pitch, and we are very much pleased with it. As I said, my focus point is that the image, let's market our football, and let's create a product that is owned by everybody. All the stakeholders must own it. It starts from us, the NFA, the clubs, the leagues, the sponsors, the government. It should be owned by us. Ownership should be our motto. So that I own it and let me give my 2 cents. So at the end of the day, we can have a dollar out of it.
All right, we have had a few clubs that have performed well this season. In the first round, we have had, and when you speak of marketing, I'm sure you speak of, sometimes there are clubs that can survive on their own, but there are clubs that don't survive on their own. In terms of that, what do you think should be the strategy?
You must take in cognition how football is done. There are big teams. When I talk about big teams, talk about followers. Some clubs will have bigger followers than the others. Some clubs have history behind them. So all those are different factors that influence in the end of the product. So in the past, we have created a scenario where the other team with the bigger follower will carry the other one along the road. And that's why we've set up double headers. But nowadays, clubs prefer to play single headers or single games for themselves so they can count on their support base. That is one thing. But in the same vein, if you have a away game against those teams with the big followers, just make sure you are marketing your game, reach everybody, especially at least we have a good tool, the social media, where you can reach out to everybody so that you can make sure your game are marketed. But that is one thing that clubs are really doing well. Doesn't matter how big or how small followers you have, but every club are doing the almost best to market the matches. The other thing is also development of referees. We need to ensure that we have the best referees, at least a good pool of referees. Unfortunately, most of our referees are spread all over the country. They have to travel long distances to watch games, sometimes 700-800 kilometers to watch a game. The previous day before the match, then you are coming on town or at a venue, you are tired. So those are the areas that you need to improve. And one of the things that you need to focus on is that to start our 24-25 season of single games per club. And then it'll also take off the pressure on the availability of stadiums and so forth.
Starting a single game per club, I think, is one of the things that every club has complained about, that they don't need to go and play 2 games a day. But what does it take in order to start that?
It comes with funding. We need to come up with funding models, get some partners that can create an environment that sponsors can see a lucrative brand in the NPFL, and at the end of the day, we have to make sure what can we offer the sponsors. It's not about the football. What is it in return for the investment? The ROI aspect, that is one thing that we need to focus. And that we need to source people from outside, the experts, to come and assist us in that aspect. And from there, I think we can make our dream happen at the end of the day. That we can say that now we have at least improved financial model for the clubs, and based on that, we can go over to playing only single matches for the over weekends.
Yes, that's a great speech that you put there. One of the last things that I would want to ask is, like, we have this football. In order to professionalize it, what do we need?
Professionalism starts with structures. So if the clubs can find money and we can assist the clubs to put out the required structures first. We are going over to the CAF licensing system. We also have our own requirement. So we will come to a level that the club will not automatically participate in the league by virtue of a promotion. Is that there are certain boxes you need to tick off. And once you are ticking all those boxes, that's the time that you will be allowed to play in the Premier Football League. So that means that you need to have structures, you need to have office, you need to have a manager, a general manager of the club. In the technical area, you need to have a coach, assistant coach, goalkeeper coach. And those people must also be trained and have the necessary knowledge and skills and be accredited by NFA or by CAF, so that they can be part and parcel of those roles that they will fulfill at club level. So all in all, what we are saying is that structures is very important on all levels, technical and on organizational level. And those are the first entry levels to ensuring that we are going to be professional. And then the governance documentation, the governance tools, that should also come up with some obligations for the clubs as well as the league itself. So those are the areas that we have to focus when we start talking about professionalism in football.
Thank you, my boss. One of the last messages that I would want to hear is wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, for sure. Wishing everybody a new prosperous New Year. The important thing is, let's build on what we have left over now. this foundation that we laid down is built on it. And I think the rest will be history, and then it will be a future of football as well.
Thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure.
That was League Director of the Namibia Football Association. We will now visit the marketplace, and after that it is Ario Hart with the latest international news. Stay tuned.
It's the season for savings at Vurman Brock. Get an Ola-rich and creamy ice cream tub for $59.99. 500-gram Rama Original Margarine for $24.99. 2-liter Rietfontein juice or sensation for $37.99. 5 kg Rice King rice for just $89.99. And Huggies Jumbo Packs for only $209.99. See all our specials online at www.vurmanbrock.com. We care.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with soccer news first. And in soccer news from the Champions League, games were played in Group A, B and C in the Champions League. And firstly in Group B, it is Arsenal that reached the Champions League knockout phases, and that is after they thumped Lens, and the score at the Emirates Stadium was 6-0. And it's Arsenal that's through to the last 16. Arsenal didn't play in the Champions League the last 7 years, so a great performance by them to reach the final 16. And also in Group B, it was PSG Eindhoven that beat Seville. That game was played at Seville. The score there was 3-2. And it's also PSV Eindhoven with 8 points looking likely to go through to the last 16 as well. In Group C, it's Real Madrid that beat Napoli by 4-2, and they comfortably lead Group C. They've got 15 points, and Napoli's got 7 points. That is in Group C. Then in Group A, it was not a good performance by Manchester United. Manchester United played against Galatasaray, and they from Turkey. That game was played in Istanbul, and that game ended 3-3. And it is Manchester United that's bottom of the 4 teams in Group A, and going to be difficult for them to reach the top 16. And it is also in Group A, it was Bayern Munich that had a 0-0 draw against FC Copenhagen. So Bayern Munich leading Group A by 13 points, and FC Copenhagen second by 5 points. Continuing international sports news with golf news, and it is Ryder Cup news. Ryder Cup is a team competition for men that is played between Europe and the United States. This year, a month ago in Rome, it was Europe that won the game 16.5 to 11.5 against the USA. The captain was Luke Donald of the European team, and it was confirmed by the European team that he will also captain the European team in 2 years' time, in 2025, when they play in New York. That is when they defend their title, and that game will be played, of course, then in the USA. Only once before, a captain of Europe could win in the USA and in Europe, and that was Tony Jacklin that achieved that way back in 1985 and 1987. So Luke Donald trying to emulate him by winning in New York in 2025. And closing off today's international sports news, it is cricket news, and it's cricket news related to Ben Stokes. He's the captain of the England cricket team, and it's confirmed that he had surgery on his knee. He's been battling with knee injury for quite some months. In fact, in the World Cup that just concluded in India, it was Ben Stokes that only played in the tournament as a batsman. He is an all-rounder that normally bat and bowl, and also a few months ago in the Ashes series against Australia, he also didn't bowl in any of the last 3 test matches. Ben Stokes also earlier announced that he will not play in the Indian Premier League. He's been playing for the Chennai Super Kings, and he was their most expensive international player. They bought him for $2 million for the season of 2022, and because of injury, he just played 2 games for the Chennai Super Kings, but he's not going to play in the 2023 tournament, and he indicated that for the Chennai Super Kings. Ben Stokes indicated that he hoped to be ready for the 5-test series against India. That will start in January 2024, in a few months' time, so it's not lots of time for him to recover from the surgery, but Ben Stokes said that he hoped to recover to be able to play in the 5 tests and also be able to bowl. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Well, thank you so much, Ari. That is all we had for you today. Catch the Sport Wrap again, as it will be back. Goodbye.